Hello, everyone, and welcome back to RueTV Tonight. It is a hot summer night once again. Back here with you. I'm honestly, this is one of my favorite shows of all time. This is going to be a show I've been looking forward to this all week. I've got two people on the show, two individuals on the show tonight. First of all, before I get started, I'm very sorry that my co-host, Demon Johnny V, JVD, couldn't be with us due to a scheduling conflict, but shout out to my co-host. Sorry, JVD, you couldn't be here, but tonight on the show, we have two actors, but also, Ryan is considered to be a producer on an upcoming movie that I am really stoked about. And you should be too. And if you have no idea what the hell I'm talking about, you will soon be just as stoked as I am for this film. It's the events surrounding A Peeping Tom. It is, let me just give you a little background before I throw it to my guests here tonight and introduce you. Directed by Hannah Fierman. You guys at home, girls and guys at home, are familiar with Hannah. She was on the show last year. My friend Hannah Fierman, awesome person. Shout out to Hannah who made this interview possible. So, hey, Hannah, thank you very much. Written by Brian James Fitzpatrick. You're looking at one of the producers right now in the lower half of your screen. That is Ryan James. Ryan, how are you, brother?
I'm good, fellow Ryan. Thank you for having us on.
Yeah, I think most people on my channel know me as Rue, but my official name at birth, last I checked, was Ryan. So we have two Ryans and a Kate. Speaking of Kate Kiddo, lead in the movie, playing the character named Rowan. How are you, Kate? How you doing?
Hey, Rue, doing great. Thank you for having me. By the way, Hannah is getting into makeup right now. She said, say hello to you.
Okay, well, right back at you, Hannah. I'm sure I'll send a link and she can check this out afterwards. But we're going to tell you all about this film. But before we get into this, this is astonishing, and this is something that I was looking at. Matter of fact, about an hour ago, the last I checked it. If you guys aren't familiar, a lot of indie horror, this is a horror thriller, you can call it. Nowadays, kind of rely on funding such as IndieGoGo. Okay, this film, the IndieGoGo for this film, I'm still scratching my head. The IndieGoGo started on July 23rd. It is now August, the beginning of August. We're at here. Let me show you. Look at this, folks at home. Look at this. I wrote it on the sheet. Do you see this right here? Look at this right here. $12,684 already raised for the events surrounding A Peeping Tom. I don't know if there's a Guinness Book of World Records for IndieGoGo campaigns, but this is phenomenal. People are excited. People are they want a piece of this movie. Ryan, I'm going to start with you. First of all, can you give us a little bit of a background on yourself, and then also tell us a little bit about this movie and what exactly this is 12K already. That's unbelievable. Tell us a little bit about it, Ryan.
Well, a little bit of backstory on myself.
Yeah, thank you.
Graduated from a UCF film school with a kind of a focus in acting, directing, writing, editing, producing. Right. And big horror fan. Grew up loving all this stuff that, like, being able to work with a lot of the people that are attached with this is kind of nuts. We all started out working out on a movie called Time's Up last year, which we shot in Maine. Right. Which is a New Year's horror slasher whodunit. Mm-hmm. And we had such a blast working on that Damian conceptualized the events surrounding A Peeping Tom, which was scripted by Brian James Fitzpatrick. Right. And so you got a lot of the familiar faces from that. Obviously, Kate is in both those as well. And yeah, we're doing IndieGoGo for this. We had a pretty successful campaign for Time's Up. As well, which was also IndieGoGo based. We had a lot of fun doing like a lot of the live streams. Mm-hmm. We had perks every week. And yeah, it's become one of the like best and most resourceful ways to build your horror community right off the bat. Get your fan base before the movie's even been shot yet. And what's cool about it is that you get to get in on the ground floor for, you know, and the amount of support that you put in is what makes the movie better. So we appreciate everybody who's chipped in so far, and yeah, we're going strong with it so far.
It's unbelievable. You guys are doing so well right now. Kate, how are you doing today? And tell us a little bit about yourself. I know there's a lot of people watching this today who are seeing you guys for the first time. So Kate, introduce yourself to everybody and tell us a little bit about you know, your thoughts on this this project itself as well.
Sure. Okay. Well, I'm Kate. Been acting for a little bit with my favorite groups for the most part. We met each other about a year ago, even before Time's Up. I know that the guys were working on Time's Up campaign when I first met them. Different movie called On Location, which is now known as Terror Trips. Reunited again on set for the movie they watch, and the rest of the crew that you already know, Damian and Hannah, they're running around in the house. We just wrapped yesterday, so I have a chance to talk to you today. This campaign, you're right, it's a huge deal for us. And Time's Up IndieGoGo campaign was such a big success.
Right. That had a lot to do. I'm sure a lot of the same contributors.
Right. But also the thing is that it was going on during COVID, and it was phenomenal. Okay. So well because of the times that it was run, you know. The problem is that there were still so many folks who wanted to be involved but didn't get a chance because of either travel restrictions or sometimes somebody got sick or, you know, whatever.
Right.
Right now, I'm really happy about the fact that this campaign is so inclusive, that it's giving a chance to those people to participate at this time when it's a little bit easier.
Yeah.
So we're trying to make it as interactive and inclusive as possible so that everyone gets a chance to come hang out, have fun.
For sure. And the perks are unbelievable. And for anybody interested, after this show, I'm going to have the link right in the description. You click on the link, you go there, they'll tell you all about it. And you can go from there. Before we get to that, of course, you guys are thinking, well, what the hell is the movie about? Dame, I'm sorry, Ryan, give me a little bit of a brief, well, we'll say this, non-spoiler synopsis of this, because I don't want Hannah to kick my ass. So give me a brief Cliff Notes version of what these people can expect. Yeah. Go.
For sure. Well, Damian Maffei plays Martin Malone, who's a lonely voyeur. He's caught and arrested after a misstep. So you kind of get that's like the peeping Tom portion of this script. You start off right in the beginning. Right. And as he nears his court mandated rehabilitation, Martin starts to suspect that someone or something far more sinister is actually watching him, which is where you start to get into the events surrounding a peeping Tom. And there's something really special about this film where the lines are very blurred. Mm-hmm. A lot of gray area as far as character, deconstruction, where you don't really know. You have a tough time trying to find out who's more of the hero, who's more of the villain, where the anti-hero line lies. And that's what's actually really fun about this is you would think right off the bat that the peeping Tom is the thing you need to be worried about, when the peeping Tom is actually using his skills, which are kind of, for something, that's not really great, not appropriate, but he's using that to unfold more of a noir detective type story of something even worse than him that's in this town. So
this is anything but cookie cutter. This is outside the box, right up my alley. I love this. I love stuff like this. It makes you think, really throws you for a loop. Exactly, right?
This is one that keeps you guessing every single page up until the ending, and even after, will still keep you guessing, because not every question is answered from it, and that's what kind of makes cinema like this work so well and last the test of time. If you could still be going back and talking about this film and that film or what you think this means, like go back to Ridley Scott and all the Giger stuff, you know, it's like people still talk about that to this day of like, sometimes your version of what is actually happening or what you think it is sometimes even more amazing than it could ever possibly be, and giving the audience that option to be able to come into a movie and decide what's real and what's not real and what's being manipulated by outside forces and stuff like that. That's why I love these perks too, because it might seem on the surface like, you know, some of the acting stuff, you know, if you're jumping in for a scene, or like there's an office party one. I know there's a you know, like obviously the epic finale. We're going to add even some more additional ones once we're going to be adding some cast members here soon.
Right.
Sorry, I flopped and disappeared, and I'm back.
It's okay. Gotcha.
But once we start adding some more cast member announcements here, we're gonna have even more perks going up as far as roles, and a lot of these are scenes in which, again, you know, everything seems fine. Like it's almost like the theme of the story. It's in that cookie cutter kind of New England style neighborhood where everything is copacetic and everything is fun, but like unseen evil is right around the corner and can happen and anywhere. It doesn't matter how safe you think you are. So a lot of those scenes we're going to be having up there for those who want to jump in on the IndieGoGo are very integral to the plot without giving away some stuff, but we're slowly piecemealing information every week about more of that. But I cannot stress enough the epic finale perks, or even just if you don't want to come out and act, you want to be a part of the crew, you want to be PA for a day, you know, you want to be a producer and come out on set and learn how the producing goes, because a lot of those people who came out for Time's Up as producers became the first people we went to with the script for Peeping Tom. So that's great. But again, as Kate mentioned, the inclusivity, those who still don't really feel like they want to go venture out or they can't make it happen or whatever, we've got like the photo and film perk where we feature you in the film from your own home. You send us the picture and we find a spot that works in with the story, so that it motivates your inclusion, or just being a producer from afar, which a lot of producers are as well. Like just in the, you know, the studio business, not everybody goes out to set. They're very integral to getting the word out there, getting the campaign of success, getting us the funds to be able to make the movie. And then they don't even have to show up for it. They just get to like, hey, I was integral to that. I didn't have to actually go out for it, but we leave it so that both have an opportunity to be in part of our group.
Absolutely. And Ryan, you just mentioned cast member announcements. Kate, I don't know if you work with her during Time's Up, but we'd be remiss if we didn't talk about one of the horror legends also included in this movie, Miss Felissa Rose. Are you excited to be working alongside her? I don't know how big her role is, but I know she's in the movie. Are you excited to work with her? Are you familiar? Did you work with Felissa during Time's Up, or is this your first time?
Felissa and I actually met on location a year ago, so we've worked on a couple of films before together.
Awesome.
It's really funny. The very first night Felissa and I met, we had a chance to die like 3 times. Wow. And that's how we bonded. We survived all 3. So
interesting. Okay.
It's a good story.
Well, that'll bring you together for sure.
Well, she's, you know, wherever Felissa goes, fun follows. So I know this is exactly what is going to happen on the Peeping Tom as well. So I know it's going to be a wild adventure, and we want as many people as we can get to join us on it, because it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah. Absolutely. Ryan, you said a lot is shot from the POV of Martin, right? Or is there anything shot from that, the Peeping Tom's perspective?
Well, definitely. I mean, that is already a part of our proof of concept teaser video, which you can see on IndieGoGo. There's the shots of Kate's version of, or the IndieGoGo version of Rowan, Kate's character, is very much POV. Shout out Dan Ballister. He did the edit for it. He's a good friend of mine from film school. He did this really cool like vignette, this eyeball slit vignette, like a shape of an eyeball.
Oh,
so
wow.
Shadows around it, so you really feel like you're not only POV, but like you're even behind the eyes seeing what Martin is seeing
from inside the mask.
Really? Oh wow, I love that. Yeah, absolutely.
I appreciated that when I saw it. I was like, that's a really nice touch by Dan.
Yeah. So I think with that, I mean, we're still working, closely with our crew and shot listing and getting those things together. So we're still working on how it's going to work in the actual feature. But that's why a proof of concept is important, because it gives you the idea of, like, that scene exactly is not 100% the characters as they will be in the feature. Mm-hmm. Let's quickly condense this into 3 minutes or whatever, and give you something that's essentially a short film of what we're dealing with here. Two people who on the outside seem like you could easily judge them and put your, whatever impression you have of them right off their first date, which is what you do on a first date. Like, you're trying to learn more about the person, but you don't really know everything about that person. Sometimes you'll learn stuff about them years later that you didn't even know about that date. Like, oh, by the way, hey, I was peeping on you in the window. And then you get the flip of that. He's actually a peeping Tom. And then you get the flip that somebody else is watching him, all like 1 minute after another.
And here's this thought that I had, guys, about this. And I don't know if anybody has pointed this out, maybe Hannah, I don't know, but the whole concept of a peeping Tom in 2021, to a lesser degree, of course, like social media, how many people just stalk people on Facebook, exes, future people you want to date, people, like it's almost like, I don't want to say that people can relate to being a peeping Tom, but it's like we have digital peeping Toms now, where people are looking into their world. Of course, you can only share what you want to, but I mean, you might have you might have touched you have your finger on the pulse of what a lot of people do today, which is kind of like dive into people's lives without them even knowing it by stalking their Instagram and Facebook. So that's kind of another interesting, that's a thought that I had about it. I'm like, this is really, now the old school version of a peeping Tom, the first thing I'm thinking, and this was the first time in my life I saw peeping Tom, was in the movie Back to the Future, when Crispin Glover as George McFly was in the tree, and Michael J. Fox says, about his dad, he's a peeping Tom. I'm like, I've never even heard that phrase before. Dad, what is a peeping Tom? And my dad told me what a peeping Tom was. So now it's come full circle as I'm interviewing you guys about the events surrounding a peeping Tom. Yeah.
No, that's an incredible observation, because, that's like, one of my favorite memes of all time is, like, at least for social media, is like when you go back and accidentally like someone's photo from 80 weeks ago.
Yes.
And it's the photo of Michael Myers standing by the bush in the mask and whatnot. And it's like, that is like, that's more so on the side of what our film's about, but like, that is a great point, that there's a whole different stalker status that we do, even just from marketing the movie. It's like you would have something like that even just for social media or whatever. It's like we should just start stalking people. Like, the peeping Tom page should start stalking people's 80 week ago photo and be like, that's really, with eyeballs on. Start doing that. We were laughing, but that's legit. What people do.
Kate, what you're playing Rowan? Obviously, it's the lead character here. How far of a stretch is Rowan from your actual personality? Was it a little bit? Is it going to be? I mean, of course, you just read the script, but do you think this is going to be a little bit of a stretch from your personality, or is it kind of similar to your own character traits? How do you feel about Rowan?
There are certain parts, of course, that I think, oh my gosh, I really have to work on it, because Rowan has some sort of amazing allure about her.
Okay.
So much so that she changes Martin's entire life.
Right.
Right. And that's a huge, that's a lot. And not everyone has that capability, or not every woman or man. So you have to be really something special, something really, really interesting to make that impact on somebody. Right. You really have to unlock something very womanly and almost bewitching. So I'm really excited to get there. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Oh,
Ryan,
did you guys freeze?
Oh yeah. I don't know if I froze or there you go, unfroze now. I don't know, internet. But anyway, before we get to something else real quick, Ryan obviously co-producing, one of the producers for the film, but I heard this rumor on the internet that you're also playing a bartender or something in it. I saw this on Internet Movie Database. That's okay. I mean, I'm just curious. Is it a small part, just kind of a cameo, or is it a more prominent role in it?
I would say, yeah, it's definitely it's one of the. I mean, I guess if you look at it in one way, it's kind of important to the scene, obviously.
Okay.
But I wouldn't say like I'm definitely not one of the main characters in it.
Okay.
I mean,
gotcha.
I don't know if you've seen my look, but I don't know if there's a hobo Jesus character in the movie. But last time I checked, there wasn't. But at least for like that was one that I definitely saw and was like, oh, bartender, I could do this up and I drink. There we go. That's my qualifications. No. No, it was funny because Hannah was talking to me about this as well, where she was like, that's the character you want to play? And I was just like, yeah, it seems cool. The scene that it's in is one of my favorite scenes in the movie, which is the office party scene. There's so much about that scene that's just like, I'm a big fan of just like party scenes in general, just because you get to toe the line between like, oh, we're having fun and we're working at the same time, because it's got to have that energy to feel authentic. And there's just there's a good moment in there where, again, the lines kind of get blurred and you don't know what's real and what's not, kind of thing. And that's at least, part of one of the scenes that I very much was like, this seems like a lot of fun. Like, I just want to be a part of it in some way with this. So as of right now, yes, that's where I'll be popping up. So.
I agree. I love the office party scene too. I think it's going to be a lot of choreography and
you guys have
parts, and it will be a lot of fun.
Absolutely. Do you guys have? We should tell people this, because some of the perks would involve physical. Try. Where's this being shot at?
Currently, right now, we are aiming to shoot in New Haven, Connecticut. So you definitely get that like New England, classic neighborhood. Everything seems fine on the outside type of look. So that's where we're looking to shoot right now. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. East Coast. Hannah herself, I've heard in a couple interviews, she said this is one of the best scripts. And she's read a ton of scripts. She has. She's been around for a while, reading scripts, getting pitched stuff. And for her to say that this is one of her favorite scripts of all time, I think that holds a lot of weight. And I'm really looking forward to seeing how Hannah doing her work as well as a director. Do you have I know this is her first feature, I believe. She directed the short that was part of a feature. Do you, this can go to either one of you, have a preference in directorial styles? Because you have a couple different types of directors. You have the kind that kind of give you the material, give it their direction, and let you kind of make it your own. And then you have some other directors who are kind of micromanagers, a little bit
they're specific to their vision.
Yes, very specific, and you have to stick to that because it's their movie and that's what they want. What do you two feel about those two styles, and which do you prefer to work under? That more loose or more specific, concrete type directions? What's your take?
Kate, you want to go first?
Okay, all right. Well, I guess my views are a little bit contradictory.
Okay.
When we're talking about the directors that are out there, I'm very mainstream and I love Tarantino.
Right.
I know that guy is very much. He's a stickler for precise dialogue.
Exactly. That would be a perfect example.
And I love a director who knows exactly what they want. And I feel like, or from what I hear, he's like fantastic to work with just because he can communicate those things. And this is what I really appreciate about directors, where they know exactly what they want visually or emotionally from the character.
Right.
And I know that when it's a little bit more lax, I start feeling as if maybe they're just sparing my feelings and they don't want to tell me stuff when they're actually giving me the freedom to go and play around. So that's kind of the battle that I personally have to go through. But you know, the bright side of that is that if you saw a character a certain way and you only received one direction and you're not being directed at the moment, you kind of can use that opportunity to explore what you had in your mind. So these are two completely opposite points, but I feel like I appreciate both of them, to be honest. And I know that a lot of actors appreciate the opportunity to always try different things, because for many people, acting is like, this is the point of acting, to be able to explore different ways to live a life.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. Ryan, why don't you give us your take?
Well, I guess it would be speaking a little bit more on the actor side than the director side. You know, even as a producer, encouraging directors to do this with actors is it just is the main answer I have is like, I love the one for you, one for me kind of thing. So it's like the director gets their version, but then the director's also open to collaboration, and it's like, and we'll do one your way. And then at the end of the day, we get to decide which one via committee is the best nailing of what we're trying to tell with the story. Because sometimes an actor is going to explore something that you're never going to be able to think of. It might be spontaneous. It might be in the moment, and you get like a little bit of DiCaprio, like breaking his, you know, cutting his hand open on the glass, everything. Back to Tarantino, which was another, of course, example I was immediately thinking of someone's like, let's do it my way. You know, so, and of course, like, how could you not like you see it in every single, you know, one of his movies. It's not a movie made by committee. It's a movie made by Tarantino, and it's a specific vision for that. Yeah. Another example of that, I love Fincher. Like, Fincher to me is another one that like was extremely influential, especially when I was getting into film school and like deconstructing all of his work. And you know, he's notorious publicly for you know, you listen to a commentary track, he's like, this one here, this shot took 56 takes of these two characters in Zodiac walking out, and then this shot here where he throws the notepad on the thing, this took 40 takes. If Gyllenhaal could just get it right, we would have done it in 2 takes or whatever. But it's like, you know, like, that's hilarious. But then you listen to like the Gone Girl commentary, and he's like, and Neil Patrick Harris drove up to the house, and this you know, everybody likes to make fun of me about taking a whole bunch of takes, but you don't really know me, and this took 2 takes, so F you. And like, I did like that. To me is like, he gets it, and at the same time he, you know, throws it for no. It's not that I need 50 takes every time. I need it to be what is in my head, the way that I see it. And at least for me as a director, as long as I can get 2 takes, one take is exactly what I was saying, and one for safety, because there's things I'm not seeing with my eyes that the editor is going to pick up on later, or we might run into an issue, or it's not cutting well with the thing. So having 2 options is the best with that. But yeah, it's at least like, as of now, especially with Peeping Tom, it's a movie that's very much open to interpretation from many different characters' perspectives and whatnot. But mostly like Martin, you're mostly staying with Martin the whole time, but he's being influenced by other things. And so other people's influence through his POV, it's such a wild ride of a script. Like I mentioned, I literally could not put it down. It felt like a fever dream, where by the time at the end, I woke up and I finished the script, and I was just like, what was that? Did I really read it? Oh my gosh. Like, let me go all the way back. Like, yeah, oh my God, I read all this. Like, you wake up from your dream and you're like, well, was that real or was that not that it's like a dream scenario type movie, but it has these things where the seamlessness of the scenes, they blend so well that you're in the next scene before you've even realized you finished the last scene. So it like you're just being moved around by, you know, Brian's writing. And it's like phenomenal. It really is like a roller coaster. And then at the end you get to take a picture, and then and then that
happened to me just today, this afternoon. We were driving, and I was gonna ask, I was thinking about the script, and I thought of the scene, and I really had to take a minute and think, wait, did I see that somewhere, or is it just the way that I was imagining the scene? No joke. It happened.
Interpreted it
just this afternoon.
You're losing you guys at home. We're losing our lead actress. She's being arrested right now.
She's being arrested. It's a promotion for the movie.
It's all work though. You don't have to. All right.
Ironically, though, when we shot the proof of concept, I won't give the whole thing away, but literally, Damian, Kate, and I almost got arrested after while making it. So it's very much like
wow.
when people ask like, oh, how much of life imitates art? Like the second after we shot the Peeping Tom scene, we almost got arrested at like 5 a.m. So, but then again, you could just be driving by at any time when we're filming this movie, and it's going to be like, that's questionable from a cop's perspective. Like, what are these, you know?
Right,
So
if they don't
hopefully
know
the lights and the clapperboard, hopefully that like we're making a movie, but you never know. You never know what you're into.
Yeah, absolutely. If you don't know what they're doing. Yeah, shout out to you just mentioned him, Damian Maffei. I mean, I'm not too familiar with him, but I saw a promo video he did with Hannah. And I'm like, dude, this guy like reeks of actor. Like he oozes actor. He's like
a real deal.
It's coming.
He's actually actor
is coming out of his nostrils. Like and his voice. He's like, damn, what the you guys like? You have a leading man on your hands. That's going to be like, you know. I don't know. That's my first impression.
I'm gonna steal that when we're on set and be like, smell that? Smells like acting.
Smells like
someone's acting.
Shout out to you, Damian. I think we're Facebook friends now, so you can.
You were talking about cops, and we did have a scene there recently where Damian was in full makeup with wounds and stuff like that. We were in a park at night. And a cop actually rolled up on Damian and talked to him for a minute. And then he was like, "You all good then? You all right?"
That's interesting. Yeah.
Actor.
No one really thinks of that, especially field shoots and you're filming outside. How was the random, cop gonna know what's going on? So he's gotta pull over.
He's doing his job.
Yeah, I guess. I guess when it's on set, it's good that he pulled over. If he kept driving, we'd have an issue. I guess we just saw it, but I don't know. But before we,
if it looks real, we're doing something right. That's the point. That's how we look at it.
Well, the thing is that the cops were warned before we were there, so they
so they gave him a heads up. Yeah,
they knew already, and still believed that it was true.
Oh boy. Ugh. Well, no comment there. That's how convincing we should say. Yeah, absolutely. Yes. Well, before we get out of here, guys, thanks so much. Trying to think if there's anything else I want. Oh, before you get Ryan, I'm friends with a couple people that you worked with at a movie that's coming out. I don't know if you have I think you have a small role in it, but Damian Leone's movie, Terrifier 2. Did you work with him for that movie? Or unless I read wrong.
Yeah, we went out. I mean, obviously, Leone's been working on that movie for a bit, and obviously having to do any movie during the pandemic, you're subject to everything that's going on in the world. It's not just you wanting to make that, but yes, I pop up in a few scenes in that movie. I have not seen the cut yet, but Damian said like there's a bunch of my face in there, But it was funny because when we were shooting it, it is the without giving away a whole bunch, the scene is like a Halloween nightclub scene, and because you're
love it.
Which also that movie was populated with a lot of awesome killer IndieGoGo backers that were able to come out and build their own costume and go out and like be in the scene and whatnot and enjoy like Leone's like Halloween world and whatnot. So they kept like putting each character into a bunch of different costumes because like we were shooting over several days and we needed to fill all the areas of the club with a small amount of people. And I tried to jump in and they were like, "Oh no, we've seen too much of you. They're like, you're too recognizable." That's a good thing. But like you have a look and it's not going to translate to like you now wearing an eye patch and having like a pirate hat. Like that's not, so I was like, all right, fair enough. That's cool. But we'll play some, you might see me pop up in a few of those things. Yeah.
Awesome. I just wanted to ask you about that because I'm familiar with, I had Lauren Levera on the show last season and just had a chat with Damian at a convention a couple months ago. So, and David Howard Thornton I had on the show as well. Before we get out of
great. Love
David. He is hilarious guy too. Kate, any last words? Anything you want to say to your, well, now I was going to say future fans. Now you've got fans and you're going to have more and it's going to keep growing and you're going to be doing cons after this because they're going to love this movie. Talk to the people at home. Tell us some things. Tell us any last words that you have for us and also where they can find you on social media. So
I'm pretty boring social media wise. It's
Okay.
just Kate Kate dot Kiddo Kiddo at on Instagram.
Right.
But what I really wanted to say is thank you to everyone who's joined us in this campaign. To all of our backers, you guys are absolutely amazing. We have those who have been with us through the years, and we really, really appreciate you. And we'll do everything to make it a wonderful experience for you. First of all, stay with us. It's going to be great, and we will love to gain more friends and keep creating great content for you.
Absolutely. Well,
thank you for having me on too.
Thank you so much, Kate. And you've got the right director, so it's going to be some good content. I know it is.
Oh yeah.
Ryan, any last words from you to everybody?
Yeah, as well. Thank you, everybody. I see now we're closing in on 100 backers. We got 96 right now. Like, we're hoping to hit that 100 today. Definitely check out the IndieGoGo page, which you can, search IndieGoGo for Peeping Tom or the events surrounding a Peeping Tom to find that, get involved. Also, especially follow at Peeping Tom Movie on Instagram and Twitter. We do a lot of updates through there. Anybody who posts like that they contributed, we share all that stuff as well. Tag us in your story posts. We throw a lot of that stuff up there. Again, it's very much community based. And then the events surrounding a Peeping Tom or at the events surrounding on Facebook. We do a lot of live streams through there with a lot of the group, and we do a lot of our the social media shout out perks we do through there. So you can watch that peep show that we do there. Which we'll be doing another one here really soon with a lot of the cast, and we'll be talking about new perks and stuff like that. And other than that, you can find me by searching my name, Ryan James. I'm probably somewhere around there. And then on Instagram, at ryanjames.mov. I end up posting a lot of updates through there as well.
Gotcha. Well, thanks so much, Ryan, for coming on the show today.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you, Kate, once again. This was awesome. And I hope, everything, all that stuff, Ryan was talking kind of fast. All that stuff's going to be in the description. I'm going to have all the links for that, links for the IndieGoGo. So check it out right down below. And I want you
watch the scene, watch the proof of concept scene. If you haven't seen it, it's 4 minutes of your time, and it gets you right in there into the dark and dirty grittiness of this Peeping Tom world. Go stalk us, peep us on Instagram and social media.
Absolutely.
Don't like a photo from 80 weeks ago. Yeah.
Become a Peeping Tom yourself. Go ahead. Oh, yeah. You know what? Interesting. The only last thing I want to add. Damian's character was named Martin. What if it, is it too late to name him Tom? To literally name him Tom? No, probably not. Too late. Forget that. Scratch that. Sorry, guys. So for myself, for Ryan James, for Kate Kiddo, thank you guys for watching this week. It's been a pleasure and an honor to have you guys. And check out all the links in the description. Check out the events surrounding a Peeping Tom. All right, guys. We will see you next time. Cheers, guys.
See ya.
All right. Bye.